Adversary Satanist, everybody. You're watching Sanctuary Satanica. I'm the daughter of Lilith. Today, I'm going to walk you guys through a ritual I channeled and then performed to cleanse like a really bad accumulation of Malakyo, evil eye. This ritual, which I've split into two parts, the cleansing being the first part, and then the protection and empowerment being the second part. You can do them as separate rituals, but I recommend doing them one after the other. You know, you have a little bit of a break in between. The reason I'm choosing to share this ritual is because I feel like the options for deep, thorough cleansing rituals for witches tend to use certain language, call upon certain powers, even some ingredients and methods that are just don't always make sense for the Satanic witch. So I channeled the ritual for myself, and then I sort of stripped back what was personal to me and some of the flavor I gave it. I stripped some of that back to what I thought was essential. That way I could share it with y'all and you can personalize it in ways that make sense to you in your relationship with Satan and use it. Because frankly, I don't think enough of us think about how many occult rituals call upon powers that are incompatible with our current, to put it lightly, okay? And then how many ingredients that we're buying from witchcraft stores and whatever that have been blessed. Who knows what they've been blessing that over, and what they've been rebuking, and what they've been speaking against. You know, have you ever observed these people who have Christianized practices? They often say shit like, I banish all demons, blah, blah, blah. They don't even know what a demon is. You know, us buying, you know, products that have had those words said over them, it's just doesn't feel right to me, you know. You do whatever you want, but it doesn't feel right to me. So I thought I would create this and share it with y'all so that there's at least an alternative for us. So if you copy this ritual and you are going to share it with more people, in whatever format you share it, please give me credit. It'd be nice. I want this to be available and open to anyone who truly loves Satan in their heart and truly doesn't want anything to do with his enemy, you know. There's so much stuff out there that just aligns you with his enemy, and that's one of the things that I think you should be able to cleanse yourself of. Okay, so for part one of this ritual, the cleansing portion, there are some ingredients you're going to need to do it the way I've done it. What is more important, though, than just following the steps is being conscious of what each ingredient is supposed to do for you, okay? And each of these ingredients represents an element. And I'll tell you which ones. And if you know a bit about the elements, then you'll know what it can do for you, okay? I'm not going to go over all of that in this video. That's kind of basic witchcraft. I don't teach the basics here. A couple tools you will need. So you're going to need a chalice or a cup, something to hold water in, a bowl. And you're going to need your athame or a knife, okay? Now, in terms of ingredients, you're going to need water, incense ash. My cauldron is full of it. I store it there. Keep your incense ash. You should be burning incense while you do this. Black salt, brimstone, or sulfur. Now, if you don't have this on hand, you can replace it with ashes from a spell working that you've done before. Make sure it was a banishing spell. In this case, I included these ashes with my sulfur for their own purpose, because I was I did a Clefothic curse with them that involves, unconsecrating some churches, and I wanted to banish any energies coming from the false gods. So I put that in there as well. So that's an example of like reusing something from a previous working to further what you're doing now. The timing of this ritual, best done waning moon, best done whenever you need it, okay? And you should be doing this ritual in your sacred space, close to a bathroom you have access to, hoping that no one interrupts you during this. It shouldn't take you too long. All right, so you're in your sacred space. You're going to invoke Satan, because of course you are, and any of your spiritual team, best if they are demons. Okay. Then you're going to tell Satan what you're doing, obviously, and you're going to say what you're cleansing yourself up. Now, for me, it was evil eye. It was Malokyo I was dealing with, so it wasn't really like I was fixating on any specific people or any specific workings done against me, but I said simply, and this is a phrase I highly recommend over saying something like negativity or negative energy, is, Lord Satan, I'm doing this ritual with you, in your power, in your name, to remove from me any energy links I did not consent to, anything attached to my energy I did not consent to, that is not aiding my connection to you, Lord Satan, that is not benefiting me as your devotee, that is not benefiting me as a human being. So, statements like that, be more clear. Don't just be like, oh, negativity or blah. But if you are removing something specific, you can go so far as to like write that down on a piece of paper and hold on to that for a second. So, or you could even write that down on a piece of paper, burn it, use the ashes, as your substitute for sulfur. Perfect. First, you're going to light your incense. Now, it doesn't matter what incense really, but use an incense that makes sense to you. You're going to pour your water into your cup. You're going to pour it. And then you're going to hold your cup in your hands. And you're going to invoke whomever demon represents the element of water to you. For me, that would be Leviathan. Doesn't necessarily have to be a demon if you don't have demons representing the elements in your practice. You can just simply, through Satan's power, call that element. Do it through Satan's power. Don't just risk it by calling any elementals. Don't be doing that. But you're going to invoke, in my case, invoke Leviathan over the water, and I'm going to speak to that water. I'm going to speak to Leviathan and say what I want that water to do. Lord Leviathan, may this water drown the efforts of my enemies who wish to harm me. May this water wash away parasites that seek to burrow into my energy. May this water, may this water wash away obstacles that are just getting in my way. You can say multiple things. So, there you go. You have your water. You've given your water a job. Next, you're going to grab some incense ash, wherever you keep it, and you're going to invoke the spirit that you know for air. And then you're going to do the same kind of thing, and you're going to sprinkle that incense ash into the water, into the chalice, and you're going to state what you want the element of air to be doing in this cleansing. Right? You're going to go down with, the black salt for earth, and either the sulfur, the ash, or fire, right? Once you have all your elements in here, it's going to look kind of, and I do recommend black salt as opposed to regular salt. If you just have regular salt, yeah, you can use it, yeah, but I highly recommend black salt, okay? Which you can make yourself. It's not too hard to make. So, you have your chalice. It's going to have some murky water. It may have a little bit of smell from the sulfur. You're going to say prayers to Satan, and you're going to anoint yourself. You should be naked. Anoint your body. especially any areas you feel like are being afflicted by whatever you're cleansing yourself of. Of course, this isn't meant to heal medical issues, but if you're having headaches because of Malokyo and Malokyo alone, anoint your temples, anoint your third eye, anoint your heart if you're having emotional issues. And just recommend anointing the major points in your body. That would be, your third eye, your heart, possibly your throat, and your reproductive organs. Those are the places I would highly recommend anointing. You can anoint more or less, it's up to you, but that's what I recommend. So you should still have some water left after doing that. Great. Then you're going to take that water and you're going to put it all over your athame. Alright? And then you're going to keep saying prayers to Satan, or just a statement, or you could rehearse, you could recite some enchanting, personal words of power, whatever is relevant. You can even speak viciously to what you were cutting off, and you're gonna cut. Okay, you're gonna cut that energy off of you. Cut it, and just be thorough. Wherever it feels like you need to cut it off. And this is gonna remove anything that you did not consent to having there, even if you weren't aware of it. Once that is done, you're going to be kind of covered in like the ash and the black salt and the sulfur, and you're going to be like, ugh. All good, okay? All of that was inside you is now brought to the surface, is cut loose. Now you go to the shower. Bring this with you. Now, if you were someone who was cleansing off something specific, and you wrote down on a piece of paper and you didn't burn it yet, you can drown it in the water. You can neutralize it in the water after you've done the cutting or whatever. You're going to take this in the bathroom with you, and you're going to dump it out in the drain, and you're going to take a shower. You're going to wash yourself thoroughly, okay? Make sure you get all the places you always forget to get. You're going to finish cleaning yourself. You're going to bring the chalice back. Then you're going to do part 2. Now it's time for part 2. After part 1, you should be showered, clean. If you just want to empower yourself, then you're not really going to need any tools. But I like to also empower the objects on my altar, the jewelry I wear, crystals I have, things like that. So it's a perfect opportunity to cleanse and charge them at the same time. If that makes sense. So what you're going to need to do that is some paper, a pen, paper that you don't mind ripping up. I'm not going to rip up this, but you're going to need a burning bowl, lancets, the jewelry or object. I use also crystals. Just make sure that they're fireproof. If you're going to put them in the cauldron when you burn the paper, I recommend having some sand in there to cover your jewelry or whatever it is so it doesn't get a bunch of soot on it. Be mindful of flammable things. You should have put the sulfur away by now, by the way. But if you don't have any sand and you're worried about that, just use the smoke, okay? So, you come back, you're clean, you're at the altar. Before you do anything, and this is more like the self-empowerment part, you're going to sit there and observe how different you feel. You should have already felt it anyway. But how different you feel after the cleanse. How does Satan's presence feel? How does the presence of the other demons you work with feel to you? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you tasting, feeling, hearing, whatever, right? Use your clairs. What's out there? I use my clairs and I saw something when I did this. So, moving into the jewelry that I want to empower, I used what I saw to write that or draw that on the piece of paper. I also drew my personal sigil, and then, because if you didn't see anything, fine, like, it's okay. Just like write down how it made you feel, you know. If you don't have a personalized sigil, you can write your name, and then draw an inverted pentagram over that, facing you. You're going to take your lancet, and you're going to prick your finger, you're going to offer blood in the center of that pentagram. You can anoint it with oil too if you want, but it's not necessary. Just use your blood. Then, you know, put your jewelry in the cauldron if you're using the sand method. Burn the paper if you're not using sand method. Hold your jewelry in the smoke. Be careful of the flames, obviously. You can anoint the jewelry after with oils, with blood, if you want. It's not going to be necessary, but you can. If you put your objects in the cauldron, even with sand, be cautious because it's going to be very hot. I put this crystal in there, and crystals handle heat better than metal. Well, metal conducts heat is what I mean, so it's hotter to the touch when it gets the same temperature. But this crystal got really hot in there. But I like how this amplified. I put several pieces of jewelry in my cauldron, and more than one crystal. Managed to fit a few things in there. Just be careful. Like the burning bowl itself is going to be hot. The objects inside are going to be hot. Let them cool down. Okay, they may still be warm when you pull them out, but be very careful not to burn yourself, because metal like this can stay hot for quite a bit and really hurt you. So, unless that's what you want to do. If you want to get hurt, I mean, that's your business. Yeah, then after that, you can wear the jewelry if you like, keep it on your altar. If you've been cleansed, I recommend doing at least the full version of this maybe once every 3 months at the minimum, just so that anything that's missed in the regular cleansings you do is taken care of. It's just a good idea, and it's another, it can get rid of anything. It can be a banishing, you know, not just a cleansing, but a banishing of certain emotions you're wanting to do away with, whatever. For me, I might have to continue to do this working like once a month, because the evil eye is a lot right now. Thanks so much for watching the video all the way through. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, I guess, if you like. If you want to see more from me, I highly suggest subscribing and hitting the bell, because I'm very inconsistent when I post, and it's just easier to know when I'm posting something. But I hope y'all have a wonderful day, night, whatever you're going through. Hail Satan, Ave Satanis, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.